It's like, how could we pray for that person? Actually seeing them as people. It's like, these are actual humans, you know? New video. Okay, it's Red Tree Crime. I've never watched any of their videos before, but we shall see. We shall see. It is called Angel Realizes She is Actually the Murder Suspect.
On April 25th, 2009, 17-year-old Brittany Drexel went missing from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Brittany had been visiting some friends at a local hotel when suddenly she disappeared. The police investigation into her disappearance lasted over a decade, and still the police were no closer to finding out what happened to Brittany. It wasn't until April 2022 when a confidential informant told the police that a woman named Angel Vows had made statements regarding Brittany's disappearance. A closer look into Angel's life would reveal that she was dating a registered sex offender by the name of Raymond Moody. Angel and Raymond became their prime suspects, so they brought Angel in for questioning. They begin by asking Angel what she and Raymond had been doing around the time Brittany went missing.
You see why I'm struggling a little bit with this? Just because, like, some of these things...
But, I mean, damn, that's a long fucking time. I can't give you a date.
No, I see that.
Or if it was Monday or Tuesday. I don't know.
Yeah, it's some of these things aren't lining up with, like, some of the facts that we have.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I want to get into.
They got 3 guys in there.
Okay?
But, I mean, I can't answer what I don't remember or don't know. I mean, so, I mean, if it's not lined up, I don't know. I just want to tell you what I remember. That's great. Okay.
Good. Hey, Angel, I'm kind of a direct guy, okay?
That's fine.
I'm not going to beat around the bush a whole lot. I don't want to waste your time.
Okay.
I've been doing this for 23 years. I've been working this case for 6 years. And I want to ask you a couple of questions. I want to discuss with you a piece of evidence.
Okay.
All right? And
That's fine. Go ahead.
I want to tell you beforehand that you've got to be completely honest
Okay.
with me, okay?
Okay.
So your answer, did you have any involvement in
With what?
picking up Brittany Drexel?
Hell no. Mostly did not.
She was never in a vehicle with us.
I don't know if she's in my vehicle. I'm gonna be honest with you, because he had no vehicle.
Okay, so you don't know. She was never in a vehicle with you.
No, never in a vehicle with me. No, period.
Okay.
No.
You're absolutely
Positively positive, too.
okay. Like I said, I want to.
So already she's trying to pin it on the guy.
Discuss with anybody else.
That's fine.
All right, and I'm going to go through it kind of slowly. All right, so you understand completely how important this this is. During the course of our investigation, we were able to intercept conversations between individuals, and one of these individuals was a person that was responsible for taking Brittany.
What? Okay.
Okay? You tracking what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Awful defensive as she is for being innocent. Yeah, she was super quick. They do say that sometimes when you have like a knee-jerk reaction of like, whoa, no way, that's more of a sign that you would be innocent, because you're like, whoa, that's a crazy thing for you to say. But I feel like she immediately was like, no, like before he even like really said it. So I feel like she's just, yeah, maybe a little bit of an overcorrection there, perhaps.
I'm going to read to you a couple of quotes. Right, it's pretty much almost verbatim what was said by one of these people.
Okay. Wait a minute. I tell you what. Don't leave me there. Okay, no. Because if you're trying to accuse
How about
me of
not?
anything, then I'm not going to be involved in it. Because I say he didn't, okay? I say he did not.
I'm not accusing him.
I'm not, yeah, you are. That's what that was. I'm straightforward too.
Can we just talk?
No, I'm straightforward too. I don't think you did. And you're not going to involve him in it.
This has nothing to do with him.
So she was kind of saying, I don't know, because it's his truck. Or no, he had the truck. But now she's like, it's not him. No way. Not her. Like, that's a little confusing.
It doesn't. Hey, hold on 1 second.
No, I'm not.
Let's give us one piece of information.
No means no. I gotta go.
30 seconds.
She said no
Angel
means
becomes very
no.
defensive when she realizes they are accusing Raymond of being involved with Brittany. Outside of the interrogation room, another officer has a conversation with Angel to get her to come back in. He explains the reason they were led to Angel is because one night while she was drinking, she was approached by a confidential informant who told her she believed Raymond was involved. This made Angel so angry that she told them that she had done it and not Raymond.
We're in here.
I'm back.
Okay, air conditioner's for you.
I'm
Wow,
back.
hot. You know what? So, it works in here. We'll chill it. Yeah.
Hold on.
You need anything?
I need a minute. Need a minute.
You need anything?
Is that like a tactic? Like, you know, the air conditioning in this interrogation room works a lot better if you want to go sit in there. That's nuts. They're in a super chummy mood right now, so.
You know, y'all need anything? We good? Y'all need anything? Good. Good. Okay. No, don't need anything.
All right, thank you.
They're like, thanks for bringing her back.
Okay. I'm back. I'm back.
I'm back.
Because I know what the conversation is. Well, he told me. I didn't know. I just thought it was something Ray said or something, and I missed. I don't know. But yeah, I did say what I said, and I was talking to Karen, a friend of mine, and I was highly drunk. We've been out all night drinking, and she kept asking
Highly
me questions
drunk.
about Ray, and everybody that I was accusing Ray. So yeah, I did say something. I did.
You want to tell me about it?
Well, no, it's drunk on it. I was just wanting everybody to leave him alone.
What'd you say?
So I put the blame on me instead of him.
Is that true?
No.
Getting emotional.
I would never hurt anybody.
What's the truth then?
She's down with the food crime drinks.
I don't know the whole truth. I don't know who it was
She's
that
had
night.
a lot of these.
I really do.
I really
but
don't.
I do. I believe you right now, and I'm not.
And even Arnie asked me, do you think you did it?
It's just that we're at the point
I don't
right now.
know.
Can I,
She does have some really interesting mannerisms.
What I want you to do is, it's most important at some point in time is to tell the truth. You've been living this. You're a person with a conscience, right?
Yes.
Like and I'm not saying what recording is what recording. I'm not acknowledging any of that type of stuff. But all we're looking for, we need your help,
Yeah.
right? To piece this thing together.
I know.
I was not about to what my belief is that it does depends upon the evidence.
Right.
And all we're looking to do is to find out what you know about what happened that week.
I know all I can tell you, because I don't know where he was. I don't. He did have my vehicle. I don't know where he was.
You don't know where he was.
I don't know where he was. I do know he called me and he sounded upset and all this kind of stuff. He didn't say anything about why he was. I said, I don't know. I don't know. Do I think there's a possibility? Of course there's a possibility. I'm not stupid. I do know that. But I don't know anything to say, yes, he did. I don't know. But do I sometimes, because I don't know where he was, and he wouldn't tell me where it was. And he did have a couple scratches on. So I don't know. I don't know.
Angel claims that when Raymond had returned, he had scratches on his face. Giving up this information could either be because she wants to earn the detective's trust, so if she does lie, they will believe her later on, or she believes Raymond did it, and she is doing her best to help the police.
That night he had a couple of scratches?
Well, he's had some scratches. I don't remember if it was from me or something. I can't tell you that he did, because I don't know that. I can't tell you that he didn't. I don't know. I do know that he had my vehicle, and that's one of the reasons I was meeting, was to trade vehicles out.
That night, remember it being that night?
That night, yes.
And you were for sure at work?
I was for sure at work, but not all evening. I was off earlier in the day.
Okay, and we have, so this is stuff we're looking, we have telephone records,
Yes.
we have license plate reader records, we have credit card records, and we have part of the story,
Yeah.
right?
And I think maybe that day, so, and I mean, that's, all I can tell you is what I know for sure. I know for sure that he had my vehicle. He had asked me for it to trade vehicles, and I didn't ask why, big deal, And the first time I traded vehicles, so we traded vehicles, And then I do remember him calling me early in the day. And I was off, but I just didn't feel like, meeting him at that time. So I told him, yeah, I will meet you. So that evening I did meet him.
Down by the hotel by the lane,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you traded vehicles.
Yes.
You took.
I took my vehicle and he got the red.
SUV?
Yes, and he got the red truck.
You took the red truck. And you took the SUV. Where did you go?
Where did I go? I think, to be honest with you, I went to town and met him back at the apartments. Maybe hour or so later, he was at the apartment. So I went back to his apartment.
Back to the apartment.
And he had your
I'm sure
SUV,
that's
right?
all.
And I had the
Oh.
truck.
You had the truck at work.
Yeah, no, at the house too.
So were you at work that day?
No, earlier in that day, I wasn't at work that afternoon.
That night?
When he called me the first time, I was not at work.
Okay, so about 9 o'clock at night
No,
is when
I was
Brittany,
not.
where were you at 9 o'clock at night when Brittany?
Oh my God, I was at his apartment.
You were down at
I was
the
at the apartment.
Fido Lane?
Yep.
Were you guys in phone contact at the time?
Yes.
And what were you talking about?
Oh God, I can't tell you exactly.
That's you're such a smart
Yeah, I
person
don't
and you
know.
have a great memory.
But I do have.
Like you passed all these exams.
Yeah.
I even
I
my
really
family,
don't,
they're
but
nurses.
It's a phone conversation. I have 100 of them.
But the point is that's on a date.
Making
with
her
somebody with-
super confident.
Yeah, but it wasn't
It's a
anybody I
person with a
knew and
conscience
thought about
remembers.
it.
But a person with a conscience remembers
Yeah, if
that.
I was involved or had, worried about it, but I didn't at the time. So, but I think we had talked a few times, not just one, we talked a couple times, I don't remember.
So you were sitting at the Sunset Lodge.
Oh, that's it, Sunset Lodge. That's it.
Yeah, you said it in the last time. So
Yeah.
So you were sitting at the Sunset Lodge that night,
That evening,
and tell us exactly what your recollection is,
of the whole evening.
please.
It appears that Angel has a great memory and is able to recall events that took place almost a decade ago, as if they happened yesterday. Is this because she really does have an amazing memory, or is there that she made up recently to explain the evidence?
My recollection.
So there's also another argument where, like, if something happened that long ago, if it wasn't a significant event, like if it wasn't something that would make you really put that into long-term memory, like obviously if something like crazy, like a murder or something insane and traumatic happened, you would remember more details. But if it's a pretty mundane day, like you won't recall very specific things. So sometimes if they are able to recall a lot of really specific details, like they talked about this on that podcast Serial, how when they would go back and ask people about things from a long time ago, a lot of them didn't remember things because it's like, if it was a normal day and they had nothing to do with anything that happened that day, then they would have no reason to remember that stuff, you know? But the fact that you would have like really specific memories, yeah, you could either have made them up or something specific really did happen and you do have some really strong memories from that day. So just think about how hard it would be to recall something that happened a decade ago. That's insane. So it's really interesting to see people try to come up with things. Mm-hmm.
Question is about I went to the apartment. First time I went to the apartment, he wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
What time?
I'm gonna guess 5, 6, somewhere around there.
He's already up. Do you know where he's at?
No, he didn't tell me where he went. And I asked, but he didn't ask.
Fair.
But he didn't tell anything to me. It wasn't a big deal, whatever, Actually, I thought he was probably meeting Ernie, to be honest.
Okay.
So,
Meeting Ernie.
I went back to my house.
Always meeting Ernie.
He called me, said something about trading vehicles, and he wanted me to meet him. And I said, all right, what time? He said, give me about an hour.
Do you remember, so we have the phone records. Do you remember when those calls?
Oh my God, they were in the evening, like maybe 8, maybe 9, when I met him, somewhere around there.
Okay, so you drove from your house in his truck
In
again?
his truck.
And you met him at the lodge,
Yep.
and he had your vehicle,
Yes.
and you traded vehicles,
Yes.
and you left.
No, I stayed the night.
You stayed there.
I went got something to eat in town, but I came right back.
So what happened the rest of that night?
So specific.
What happened between
Very
you
specific
and
memories.
the rest of the night?
The rest of that night?
What other things happened?
Yeah, I don't remember everything. I really don't. I know he left for a little while,
You remember a lot, though.
came back. but he told me he went to Ernie's. I don't know if he did or not. I mean, I really don't, I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you that.
And you can mind it.
Just
So
go ahead.
there's a series of calls at a peculiar time.
Okay. What's the cause? I mean, what time? I don't know.
Like, that are different, like super early.
Yeah, I told you he left at some point. I don't know where he went.
So what was the conversation?
Well, one conversation was where he left.
One was kind of lengthy, one lasted quite a while.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, 'cause they have the phone
I mean,
records.
I really don't. I can't tell you. I don't remember being on a lengthy conversation. Maybe he was going off about something which he does sometimes. Still does that. I mean, I really don't. No, I can't tell you conversations about it. I do know he left at some point. Told me he went to Ernie's. Do I know that? I don't know. Like, I only know what I'm told. Like, I don't follow him. I'm not chasing him down.
Yeah. See, she's doing this like thing where she kind of speaks in these like generalities now, like to explain why she has gaps, right? So she remembers a lot, but there's gaps in her story of what she remembers. Yeah. Some pretty convenient gaps. She remembers that the exact times and like what order that she did a lot of things in. Because I'm trying to think, like, if I were to have to recall 10 years ago when me and a significant other were doing something after work and they happened to call me to ask me to trade cars because we did that before, if I would remember all the details that she just described, I don't think I would. Like, that's wild. But they had some phone calls and she don't remember none of that, so maybe he was just hanging out. Maybe he was just chatting it up that day. I don't know. I can't remember phone calls that I've had with my boyfriend from like a week ago. We talk every day after work. It's crazy to remember details like that.
I totally believe you.
So I don't know where he went.
We're trying to line the story up with the
I know.
phone records.
I know.
So if the phone records put you guys in a certain place.
Yeah, I mean, it is highly
The story has
likely.
to be consistent.
Yeah, if he went somewhere in the middle of the night, then yeah.
And so there's no reason your phone, and maybe, you might be surprised how much I believe you in some of these things. Is there any reason that your phone or you or credit card would put you on or near the boulevard that evening, not at your house, that evening between, say, 4 or 5 p.m.?
Well, my card was in the vehicle.
So he's kind of letting her know we have a credit card bill attached to you in a specific place. So he's giving her a chance to explain why that was the case. And now she's saying, my card was in the vehicle. You know, the typical normal things you do, like leaving your wallet in your car. I mean, maybe.
Your what?
My card was in the vehicle.
Your credit card?
Yeah, and
Leaving that paper trail. That's exactly right.
well,
Does he use your credit card?
I mean, we've used it before to get gas and stuff like that. I just tell him, like, you just go in and pay or whatever.
What about another type of purchase that might have been done?
I don't know what purchase was done. I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I'm just saying that there.
I mean, there's.
What's the purchase?
I don't know. It was in there.
What is
I mean,
it?
my card was in there, which is where I kept
What
it.
is it?
Go to my card now. There's my card's in there.
Would your phone have been in there too as well?
It could have been. I don't know.
Well, you're saying your phone and your card could have been on the boulevard that evening,
But I haven't
you
had
were
to
not.
phone. No, I was not.
Is there anybody that can?
Yeah, my
corroborate
son. That's about it.
that? When he met up with you, did you get your phone back?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So now she's saying she didn't have her phone either. Yeah, you know, my phone and my credit card never leave the car. So getting a little fishy here, Angel.
Because he did call me on my son's phone.
The reason they are focused on the phone and credit card is because they have records putting both of them near where Brittany was when she went missing. They also have video footage of her vehicle around the same area. What's interesting is that Angel has a simple answer to the evidence. She claims that she left both her phone and credit card inside her vehicle, which Raymond took, after they did a vehicle swap for some unknown reason.
And what happened the next
One
morning?
time, and then when I met him,
Yeah, they never said why they swapped vehicles.
And I went to the apartment. He met me. I stayed there for a while. When I got something, he went back to the apartment. Some point in the middle of the night, he was gone because he called me on the phone.
Some point in the middle of the night.
But can I tell you where he? I don't know. I don't know. But that's happened a lot in our relationship. He might go to bed with me, and I'll wake up at some point. He's not there. Most of the time, though, he was at Ernie's. But do I know that's where he went? I can't tell you that's where he went. I don't know. I didn't call Ernie to look. You know, like I said, I'm not chasing some guy. I'm not keeping up with him. You know, who does his business or just mine. You know, that kind of thing. So I can't tell you where he was.
That kind of thing.
I can tell you I wasn't with him, but I also can tell you I was with him later on.
And you can't tell us what.
Yeah, could have been in there. And then she said she had seen him and gotten it. She wasn't sure, and then she was sure. Yeah. She does tend to be very strong on some things, even though she just told us that she wasn't sure. The back and forth, she can't keep up with it, you know? It's hard to make up stuff.
That time.
I can't even tell you an exact date.
Was it before or after midnight or anything?
I was with him some before midnight, but after midnight, he disappeared. I don't know where he went, but I do know at some point he disappeared.
In what vehicle?
I don't know, because he came back right after that. I was in the bed. He called me one time, and then I called him one time. I think that's how it went. I can't remember exactly.
And I'm just trying to.
I'm thinking he took the truck, but I can't promise you that.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure I understand. You said that when you came back and you switched vehicles.
I'm so confused. Like, what car was where, and why did you switch, and when did you switch, and which car did you have, and do you know why, or don't you know why? And why was your phone there? And why was your credit card there? It's very, very confusing.
You stayed the night.
I went, got something to eat in town, came back, stayed the night because I got something to eat, called the kids, went home.
Why'd you switch vehicles? Just
This is what we need to know. This is what we need to know.
to go get something to eat?
Well, he was going somewhere, and I didn't know where he was going, and I already didn't know where he was, so yes, I took my vehicle.
The detectives are trying to figure out why they switched vehicles and why Angel is adamant they made the switch. Did they really switch vehicles, and if so, was the switch a way for Raymond to cover his tracks, or was Angel involved?
And did you have your son's phone, or you called your son's phone?
He called my son's phone and talked to me.
Because
Because he said he had called me, and I didn't answer.
Did he say we were down at 6?
No, that's why I told him. I said, "Are you in town?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, are you ready to tell you?" He said, "No, I got a couple things to do." He said, "I'll call you when I'm done." I said, "Okay." So he called, told me he was on his way back. He didn't say from where. So I went to the apartment. He wasn't there. Waited a few minutes, still wasn't there. So I left. And then I went back later. So.
Okay.
That's what happens when the first thing that comes out of your mouth is a lie, and then you have to keep building upon it in real time. Yeah, and think about the fact that, you know, if they were questioned about this a long time ago, whatever they said back then, it still has to be true today. So if they did make up stories and like anything that was at all like intricate or detailed, they would have to match up those details even now, you know? So they would have to make sure that the story stayed the same. Like, because theoretically it shouldn't change, you know? But that's the issue, is when you weave those storylines, especially among more than one person, that's tough. That's tough.
So if the vehicle was on the boulevard at the exact time, pretty much, that Brittany goes missing, then your recollection is that would have been Ray in your vehicle, if that was your vehicle?
If it was my vehicle.
By himself? Like,
Yes.
As far as,
As far as I know, but like I said, he went to the gay bar, he talked to, so did he meet with somebody? I don't know.
So she is
No, I didn't have,
kind of pinning it on him
no.
yeah.
a little bit.
So
Roll
I can't
back and
say
forth
he was by
on if
himself.
she wants to
When
blame
he left,
him
he
or
was by
not.
himself. When he came back, he was by himself.
When you saw him back at the lodge, he was by himself.
He was by himself.
You mentioned you went to Ernie's and got clothes?
He did. Me,
Right.
me and Ernie were not friends at that time.
You mentioned he took your car there.
Yes.
But you also said that you guys had exchanged cars.
Yeah, I said when we were back at the apartment,
Right.
he left, because we went back to the apartment.
Right.
According to Angel, she met Raymond in town to switch vehicles, only to meet back at the apartment, where Raymond would then go to Ernie's in her vehicle. Why drive out to town to switch vehicles instead of waiting until they met at the apartment and do the switch then? Also, why did they even need to switch vehicles? These are some of the many questions the detectives have about Angel's story.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, you just said that you switched vehicles at this resort place, and now you're saying that you switched vehicles back at the apartment. So it's a little confusing. The epic car switch. I mean, this is kind of it, I guess. Because I'm guessing they have tied the vehicle to the disappearance. So it's really important to know who was in the vehicle. And it sounds like she might have been in the vehicle and she's trying to blame this Ray guy. But I think they're starting to figure out that she is lying a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a couple of lies, maybe.
But the vehicle was that night at the landing, right? That would not have been you, is what you're saying.
Oh, no, not
The
me.
whole time that you took your phone in that vehicle and you were never at the landing that evening.
No.
Oh, like an innocent explanation for doing that.
No, I don't think I was at the landing. I mean, because we met back at the
Ooh,
apartment.
now she's saying, like, I don't think I was there.
He didn't go with me to get something to eat.
Right?
You ate by yourself. Okay. What did you pay
No,
with?
I don't think it was just landing, no.
Because that's the opposite direction. I mean, Donald is down at the landing from
Yeah.
from the lodges the other
Yeah.
way.
The landing's out towards the Maryville way. McDonald's is
Is
right
there a
there.
purchase from
Right.
McDonald's? Is that why you said
I
that?
mean, you know, be quiet a minute, but like, so, like, obviously whoever did this made some, like, mistakes that night, right?
Well, it wasn't just them. There was other girls out with us, and it was just, I was drinking, and it was just bombarded, you know?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
What's
It
happening?
was all over town anyway, it was down the dunes.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm with him, so yes, I get harassed all the
I
time.
know.
You know, he gets bullshit of what he did when I didn't even fucking know him.
Yeah.
So, you know, so yeah, I was frustrated, I was drunk, so I got pissed off. I was like, yeah, no, fuck, you didn't do it, I goddamn did it. You know, so, no, and then I don't even know what else, I was drunk. I know what I said something about the girl hit on him or something. I don't even know what.
Oh, we went back to her when she was saying that she did it instead of the guy and defending him. Okay. I thought this all happened in that one night still, and I was like super confused. But they went back. I didn't realize.
I said, you know, to be honest with you, yeah, I did say I was pissed off. I just wanted to leave him alone. And leave me alone.
The police find it very strange that she said she did it and claim she only said it because she was tired of people accusing Raymond. It's possible that she was very intoxicated the night she said it, but the police have to take that statement seriously and look into why she said it.
So, yeah, it's stupid. But guess what? I did it. You know, I can't say I didn't. I did.
Yeah, because why would you ever say that? It's such a strange thing to say if you didn't do anything, you know?
And then it was just me and her.
No, but I'm saying that incident you're referring to, like that there's other evidence, right?
Yeah.
That some of the stuff I was gonna talk to you has nothing to do with whatever you're talking about. But so the,
This has
you know,
nothing
and we're
to
trying
do
to
with
piece
that.
this thing together because the person who did it that night, they made some mistakes, right? Like for example, they kept Brittany's phone on, and they kept their phone on. So the phones moved, obviously, from all together. So what's the chances of somebody being on Ocean Boulevard at 11th Street South at 1 minute, and also being at the North Santee, which everybody in the news knows that's where the searching was done. So who would have been at those two locations?
I get it. I mean, I do get it. You know, like I told him, I get it. You know, I took him to the motels we usually stayed at, but I know he did not stay at the beach that night. He was not at the beach, so I know he came home. I know that.
Right. And I agree with you. I think he did.
So, you know, I can't answer his questions, you know.
Yeah.
So in my mind, because I've known him so long, I'm trusting, it has to be something concrete, and I just don't have that.
I know. stuck in a bad position here, like, and we're asking you questions and you're volunteering information. We're trying to just find out the truth, and really, if we can eliminate you,
Right.
that
But
helps.
I can't sit here and lie, I don't remember. I'm not gonna do that. I just don't remember. I mean, some things. I remember a little bit here and there. I remember, some vehicles. I didn't remember the black vehicle. And then I didn't remember later on about having the key until I remembered the kids ragged and I had to get, so, I mean, it's a long time. I just don't remember all that.
He's never said anything to you?
No, he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't offer information. He's not that kind of person. He's just not. And he doesn't talk about things that have passed even if I ask him, because he says he just wants to leave the past in the past and get on with his life. Okay, I get that.
Get on with life.
Yeah.
I'm not straight and narrow. The stupid shit when I was younger too. And I just don't want to talk about, even when people ask, I remember when you were 20. No, I don't. I don't remember. I don't care no more.
This is harder to understand than a King James Bible. Yeah, it's pretty tough. It's hard to follow for sure because, so obviously the title kind of hints at it that she doesn't know right now that they are interrogating her. So she's super emotional and defensive, but I think she's just thinking about the guy. So she feels like she's screwing him over, but they keep asking about her phone and her credit card and her vehicle, and they're not saying it's even tied to the guy. They're saying hey, it kind of seems like it's you, but she still thinks they're talking about Ray. Oh my gosh. But because they're having two separate conversations right now, it's a little bit confusing.
I remember, so, but, I mean, could he have done it? I know he could have, I do know that.
He could have.
But you all want to believe that? No.
Not me.
I believe
We're not even talking about me.
It's unclear if the detectives believe that she was involved. Either way, they know they need to use her to get more information on Raymond.
We think you have an opportunity here to possibly
other guy.
discuss some things with him about this.
What?
We think that you both might have some information that can help with this, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to have to continue to investigate this,
Right, of
and we're
course.
going to have to continue to talk to people about this.
Yeah,
But
I get it.
if we go do that and the word gets out,
I know.
that's what we want. That's why we were honest with you when you got
That's why you're
here.
here. We tell nobody. We don't want anybody to know your business, right? But unfortunately,
Your
if what you're
business.
saying is
Right.
true, we've got to continue,
I know.
right? Because there's just a lot of evidence
I
that
know.
shows.
Sus. We have to keep talking to you because you are extremely sus.
Vehicles,
Right, I know.
phones,
I got it.
What do you think you could do to help us out?
What do you want me to do? Is what I'm asking. I mean,
at the end of the day,
Confess.
we're looking for Brady,
Confess.
right? So that is the gold. That is a golden ticket,
I'm sure it is.
right?
Yeah.
And we believe that you might be able to help us. And if let's just say if Ray was involved in that, then he would obviously know where that's at.
Of course.
So if we were interested in your ideas, if we were to ever try to find that, that's really what the goal of this case is, right? Is to do that. So if there's anything that you could think of,
I would say the best thing is to put a bug in his vehicle, is all I can tell you.
well, how would that lead us to her body?
Put a bug.
Is there any chance he could have had?
Put a bug in there.
Another what?
Could he have been involved in another way?
What do you mean another way?
Maybe you did something.
I'm asking.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean another way?
Hid the body?
When he left,
Mhm.
could that have something to do with it?
When he left,
In the middle of the night?
did it have something to do with what? Brittany?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I mean, he said it was Ernie's. That's all I can tell you. But could it have? Of course it could have. Could it? I don't know.
What do you think
you know, because I didn't know. I didn't know. And he won't say anything, you know. So I didn't know. I still don't know. So does it make me nervous when people bring it up? Yes, it makes me nervous. You know, of course it does. Because I'm living with somebody who could have.
Right.
You know.
If you ask them if you.
Man, that is like, that's like a wild thought to me, you know? Like the idea of like you're in a relationship with someone and you're living with them, and then in the back of your head, you're like, he might have murdered. So she's saying it's possible, maybe he murdered her. It's possible that he's a killer, but I'm just living with him. I ain't really asked him about it. I mean, it's hard enough. I feel like it would be hard enough to like be in a relationship with someone that you didn't think was like being shady and like texting somebody, let alone like being a murderer. I think that might be the ultimate red flag. Murder. Just a little bit homicidal, perhaps.
He was involved, would that be different?
No, he said no. I mean, I can try to ask him, I mean, again, you know, but first thing is going to be, he knows I'm here,
Right.
but he thinks I'm meeting for some other reason. First question is going to be, did they ask you about me? That's going to be his first question.
Okay.
I mean, he's real, I mean, he's suspicious. Believe me.
Still?
Always. Always. Not even about anything to do with this. I mean, just always if somebody comes up, who's that?
Yeah.
What do they want? Why were they here?
No. It has nothing to do with that situation. He's just always suspicious at all times. That was a great follow-up question. Oh, he's still suspicious? He's still concerned? He's still on edge? Oh, gosh.
You know, he's very suspicious. You know, it's just his nature. But he's been that way since I've known him. So.
I mean, they did talk to him about when they went out to your house initially, when they got the girl out of there, Alicia, I think it was.
Yes.
So you could say. Sure.
Oh, that is what I'm telling him.
Sure,
That's
he did.
exactly what I'm telling him.
You had mentioned a bug. Is that something you think would work? Is that something that you think you could do?
Oh, yeah, I can do it.
Angel agrees to do everything she can to help with the investigation. Before she leaves, the detectives have one last question for Angel.
But our sincere goal is to get the truth and to work with
She's
you.
going to put a bug in the car.
We genuinely want to do
No,
that.
I mean, I get that. I believe you. I
Because there's a lot of evidence that points at you.
Right.
And if what you said happened, and that's true, and we can prove that,
Right.
that's critically important. And we would want to work with you to try, we just want the truth.
Right. I know.
Like, and whatever it is, and we think you might know.
Right.
Right? But we can't wait. So, but we want, out of respect for you, we'll say, hey, look, tomorrow.
I'll make it to tomorrow.
If we meet tomorrow,
Right.
if we meet tomorrow here, and we have this discussion,
Right.
think about like where you're at right now, and then we make some decisions and we want to move forward.
Okay, do you think that she leaves this room? Like, do you think she's actually going to leave? Do you think this is actually happening tomorrow? Or are they about to do some weird thing where they arrest her right now? I am super, super curious.
We're together.
Okay.
That's our goal,
That's fine.
right? I mean, that's really where we want to be, and you gotta believe that, because we just want the truth.
I know
And
you.
ultimately, we want to just find Brittany.
I mean, I do believe. I do believe.
And that would, if anybody that would have that information would be holding a very, very valuable card.
Oh, I know.
Like if they were very scared that they're in trouble, they also have significant
Right.
leverage.
Yeah.
Right? Right now, and if that leverage goes away, if I had that leverage and I got hit by a bus, like that's gone. Like there's no chance of getting that information.
Well, let me tell you this. I don't care what. Don't I know? I promise you, on my children's life, and I lost my son in the car accident.
I know, I'm sorry.
I don't know where Brittany is. I don't.
I do,
really
I believe
don't.
you. We want to work with, but we want to try to get there.
Yeah, I know you do.
And if there's little pieces early on that you
Right.
can remember tonight and say, maybe it was just I was riding in a car when something happened.
Right.
Then okay, let's work with that.
I get you.
Right?
I
And
get
then we work with it together. And you say, but I don't want people to know this. Then
Right.
We work with you on that. So
I know.
maybe we can do it this way, but we need to know it. And you might be shocked how much I believe you. really? You might be shocked how much I believe you, but I also know that there's facts in there
Right,
too.
yeah.
And we're willing to give you that time, right? Because we appreciate you coming down here, and it's a lot we're dumping on you,
Yeah.
okay? But I think this is also the path to like kind of get, like, you've got all this stuff in your mind because you're a person with a conscience, right? Some people don't have a conscience.
See, he keeps doing that. He keeps bringing that up. He keeps saying that specific phrase, like, you're not a piece of crap. You are not a psychopath. You actually are a person with a conscience. So, I also like how he was, like, basically saying, someone that would know that would have leverage. Like, hey, it would actually help you if you told us what happened. It's interesting. I'm wondering if any of these are gonna work.
Right.
That's not you. You're a grandmother. You have all these things, and you feel bad if you have information.
Right.
We're not accusing you of something you didn't do. We just want to find what the facts are and then work with you on that. And if it doesn't result in finding Brittany, then so be it.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't get there, but I think you could help us get started down that path. And if we just wanted to go out there and screw with you, we would have went out there and screwed with you.
Right, I know.
You know, so does that make sense for you?
Yeah, it does, it does.
Yeah.
The police would watch Raymond and Angel over the next several days, but unfortunately,
She does leave. Okay, so no arrest happened then. Okay, so then they watch. What happens? What happens?
they were unable to get any new evidence against them. 1 week later, Raymond surprises the police department by coming in and confessing to the crime.
The only person who ever told this story to is my lawyer. Angel never even knew the real story. She never knew. Anyway, when I was going down Ocean Boulevard, we were going along pretty slow driving. I was driving, and pretty walking speed, and I saw the Drexel girl walking along on the sidewalk, and I was smoking pot. She noticed that, walked over to the door and said something about that smells like good weed. I said, yeah, you want some? Sure. Get in. She hopped right in the back, what a problem.
Why would you get in a stranger's car? Ugh. That makes me so sad. Ugh.
And we smoked the weed, went down the boulevard, and we're just small talk. Angel's not really saying anything. More smoking the pot. And I said, hey, you want to party a little bit with us? We're going to get some cocaine, you know? She said, sure. So we started driving. We're just driving around, smoking, talking. And went right into Georgetown. Went right to a spot where we used to camp out down by the river. And we went down there, and I was by myself with her, because Angel left for a while to go see her son. As things got out of hand, and I panicked, and she panicked, and I strangled her.
Raymond's story was completely different than what Angel had told police. Angel claimed that she was never in the car with Brittany, and she had never left the hotel they were staying at. According to Raymond, Angel was with him when he picked up Brittany, and together they went to a private hangout spot. Raymond says that Angel left him alone with Brittany, which Angel never told police. Angel was never charged in connection with the crime, even though there was evidence that pointed in her direction and she lied to the police. The police also found it very strange that Raymond came forward only after Angel was considered a suspect. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this case.
Dang.
Do you think Raymond confessed to protect Angel? And if so, was it to protect her because she was involved? Or because he was worried she might be falsely accused and end up in jail for something she didn't do?
Brittany's mother, Dawn, and Chad, and Father John were promised that every resource would be used to find the answer of what happened to Brittany, where did it happen, how did it happen, and why did it happen. The why may never be known or understood, but today, this task force can confidently answer the rest of those questions along with the who is responsible. The who is Raymond Douglas Moody. His date of birth is May the 9th of 1960, and he is a white male with an extensive sex offender criminal history.
Raymond showed police where he buried the body, which was returned to the family. Raymond was found guilty, and he will be spending the rest of his life in prison.
I don't have the words to express how horrible I feel. And I've felt ever since that day very, very sorry.
Thank you for watching this video.
It's always such a hard thing when someone does something so horrible and then you see them have, you know, like what appears to be remorse, and they do like basically apologize and ask for forgiveness. But it's hard too, because it's like, is it actually because they are regretful of what happened, or is it because they got caught, you know? And you can never really know. But also, this was like 10 years ago. So it's possible that all of that was just weighing on his conscience for that long. So then it's like, then he went back and he was like, yeah, like I did it because he wanted to clear his conscience, you know? And now he's having to face the consequences. It's hard to tell like what their plan was, you know? Ultimately, like, we aren't the ones that have to decide if someone is being like authentically remorseful, or, you know, if just the same way, like knowing if someone truly like repents of things that happen or what they do in their life, like we really can't judge the heart, but obviously we judge the fruit. You do have consequences for your actions, and and he's going to live out the consequences of his actions by being in prison. It is a good thing that, you know, they found the body and they were able to give that family closure, but obviously it doesn't make it any easier. It still is like obviously like such a tragedy. But yeah, when it comes to me reacting to these videos, I think I do consider this to be like Christian streamer reacts. I'm not like the Christian or anything, but I just feel like, hey, you know, I have this platform as a believer, and if I'm going to react to real life videos of real life people in real life situations, you know, we could maybe talk about what we would pray for these people about. Obviously, we pray for the victim's family, and we are thankful for some closure that they may have. And then we just pray for them to feel some sort of peace in this situation, a peace that goes beyond understanding. The level of remorse and the level of, you know, shame and guilt that they would feel at this point, you know, it's a guilt that is correct. Guilty, you know, actually guilty. But this is where the rubber meets the road with the gospel, and truly believing that anybody can be redeemed and that anybody can find salvation and that anybody's heart could be changed. Yep. Anybody's heart could be changed by God. You know, we pray for them to find God. It may seem like finding Jesus in jail, finding Jesus in a prison would be impossible from the outside looking in, but those are certainly places that people can find God, you know? Our church does God Behind Bars, which is an organization where local churches can send messages or have live messages or worship at prisons in the area or correctional facilities. And it's a way to bring church to people that honestly really could use it, use that sense of community and the stories of redemption of Jesus, you know? So it's very, very possible. So that's always something that we can pray for. Yeah, I think that is one thing that is easy for us to kind of brush past, because obviously we see these types of crimes, and obviously they're just like so blatantly violent or horrible, and it's easy to just be like, well, I'm not as bad as that guy. But that's the reality of what sin is, you know, and it does separate us from God, regardless of if it is something that we see as big or small. All of it can't stand before a perfect and holy God. And so for that connection to be back through, we accept Christ. But yeah. But I think that's a great exercise, though, for us to do as Christians when we kind of encounter things like this. It's like, how could we pray for that person? Actually seeing them as people, seeing them as human. Because even though in these types of videos, they're honestly made into these like caricatures and these like concepts and content, and they're just like whatever, it's like these are actual humans, you know? And so I think it's always good to circle back and remind ourselves of that. So, but yeah.